So the good thing is, we've got you. We've also high-fived each and every one of you. There's no escape now. So if we can get that door locked. Yeah. I appreciate the fact there are 6 other sessions on just now, and you've come here to listen to a Scottish man and an Irish woman after 3 days of a developers conference. Good luck understanding what we are saying. But we'll do our very best to be nice and calm, apart from me running about and almost feeling out of breath already. And Maria, you can do the high fives while I'm still talking. But who has enjoyed FinTech DevCon so far this year? Woo! We can do better than that. So who's enjoyed FinTech DevCon? Woo! That's the total energy we love. I love this conference, as you could probably tell. One of my actual personal highlights from this conference was it about 12:30 on the first night, Maria? You and I were up and we were talking about MTLS with Plaid. Like in the bar, the last people in the bar talking about MTLS. That's what I want to do from a developers conference. So that's why I love this. Got to watch so I don't cuss. Okay, let's see if this works. There we go. So what are we going to talk about today? So we are going to talk about engaging and exciting multinational banks, a fintech's guide. Actually, let's ignore this title, okay, because this sounds like something that ChatGPT would generate, yeah? Yeah? Okay, so what we're actually going to do is we are going to share kind of some of what we build internally, some of the problems we solve, show some of the cool stuff that Maria does externally on that repo that I mentioned earlier on, and then we'll talk through a kind of simple playbook, and I want to see if that basically engages and excites you and makes you maybe want to work with a large multinational. Okay? That sound good? Woo! So who are we? So as you can see, we are master builders. Yeah? Everything is awesome. You can probably tell us if I can get the laser to work. That is me. That's not me. I don't have any hair. So, and obviously, we're builders. You know, we do work for an incredible national bank, and we want to build the future with you. You know, we are from Scotland, obviously the kilt, and Ireland, flag and the shamrock and everything. And we're here to basically engage, excite you, and basically really feel part and be part of this community. We love it. So the backstory about how Maria got here. So a week and a half ago, Maria got married. Ta-da! Don't clap when you're using a clipper. So proper Scots-Irish wedding, basically ceilidh dancing. I think I got your entire family up to dance. Incredible experience. Like that is the same kind of culture, commitment I bring to this conference every single year. It was great fun. Pat, your dad, he now loves me almost like a second son. And I think he said to you, if I ever leave my manager, Alan, that guy with the crazy ceilidh dancing, he's going to disown you. So Simon is fine. He's in. He's English and he's all fine. But if Maria leaves me, she's in trouble. So go, Maria. Okay. So again, what we're going to talk about. So we'll dive into some real problems that we solve with the bank. We'll show you what we have built externally to excite and engage you, and I'll share kind of what, as builders, we look at, like from within a bank. As builders, what do we love to see? Like, what do we want to be able to engage with fintechs? What sort of things do we really excite us? And we are going to talk to you today as builders, not sales or marketing. Apologies to any sales or marketing that are in the room just now. That's not my job. My job is to build. But these numbers up here, this is what we need to make happen every single day. This is the scale of work that we are at. We it's for some reason, and maybe the slides can help explain that, we process $10 trillion every single day through our systems. It scares me. It sometimes keeps me up at night a little bit, but that's what we do every single day. That scale is a fascinating problem for me. And as a builder, I'm just excited to be part of something that can actually do that and be up and be reliable and do all those amazing things. So again, this is a developer roadblock talk. It's not a sales pitch, that's just what we do, but that's what we've got to build for. So let's talk about working on banks at scale. So building for scale, so 10 trillion every single day, we need to build for that. Our number one priority in the bank and in payments, and what Jack and what Mike tell me practically every single day, is stability and resiliency. That's our number one priority. We get to innovate and we get to do all these kind of cool things and sell and whatever, only when we are rock solid, that we can handle that scale and we can make those payments happen. So what does that mean? Let's get level with an example. So there's probably a lot of different examples I could have used. I could have went Kafka partitions. Who loves Kafka partitions? No one. Oh, one person. Yeah, hardcore. I could have went the account validation services. So we all like to prevent fraud. We all like to do this. So I was the number one developer on that system that JP did. That would have been good fun. But I want to go basics. Yeah. So who loves thread pools? Okay, 2 hands, that'll do. 3 hands, yes. So again, I'm going to walk through kind of what we do and how we uncovered some cool, not so cool things about thread pools. So again, so everything we do, like when we're pushing these systems through all of our environments, we are testing to fail. So that anything that we push through all of our environments, we want to try and break that before it gets to production. We're pushing really high loads through our performance environments and our lower environments. We really want to see how those systems manage, because you've seen the figures there. In production, we have got to handle that. And everyone here is handling high scale, high load in production. So anytime we're pushing changes through all of our environments, we are trying to fail. We're trying to really push that system to its limits. When we do that, sometimes interesting things happen. So the thread pool example was actually one where when we are testing through all these different environments, we push like all kind of simulated load of what happens in our payment system every single day. Like some of the payments go through are like in billions of pounds of value. So that little thing there, one of those little tasks that we're trying to do could be to make that payment. That payment could be, that one there, could be billions of dollars. It's not just like penny transactions, it's not that. We are simulating real production load. So when this fails in any way, shape or form, like we're on the hook for that. And JP Morgan have got to basically back that up. So that's why we test and test and test, and that's why it's got down there. Every payment matters, because that one payment there could be that $1 billion payment going through there. So what did we find? So again, things go wrong. So what we found in one of our testing environments with this fantastic thread pool here was the task queue and the thread pool both filled up. And what happens when both of those fill up? Anybody want to hazard a guess? So it depends on your policy, the thread pool. Brilliant answer. So the default policy is kind of to reject that. So basically, if you're rejecting something that's like a $1 billion payment, you've got to make sure you've got all that failure scenario captured, handled via everything you've got there. Those payments going through there really do matter. So if that basically fails and those are getting rejected, and in the case that we pushed out there, we didn't have the exception handling in the right way, but we discovered that before it went to production. Whoo! Go testing. So we had a case where basically what was getting put into like a stuck, the payment was getting stuck. It was basically one of those billion-dollar payments were getting stuck. And when you're trying to process billion-dollar payments, you want to kind of take care of them, yeah? So some of the learnings that we got from that, critical flow. Don't like combine critical and non-critical flows in your pools. What had actually happened was the auto-wiring spring, it basically auto-wired the same thread pool for more of a batch job than the kind of critical payment flow. And they were both sharing the same thread pool, the same policy, all of that. And when you've got like batch jobs, they kind of tend to take longer, yeah? Lots of nods, that's a yes. So you don't want to be mixing the two of those, but when you're looking at a piece of code for a particular PR, it's not always clear when you're going all the way up the stack and you're basically seeing what is that being auto-wired into, what is that thread pool that it's using for those critical payments. So always make sure you're separating your critical flows. Peak load, so again, because we're both using the same thread pool configuration, the size of the queue, the size of the pool, all of that, like we hadn't quite catered for the batch load and the critical payment flow in the same configuration, so we split that out. You've got to look to handle your peak load, including spikes, because in payments we deal with spikes, don't we? We always, because there's always rush on things, so it's great. Rejects, again, have an elegant reject policy in place. The default for this one is reject. That's not the best policy when you're kind of rejecting like billion-dollar payments. What you want to have in place is either maybe use the current thread to create that back pressure throughout your system, and so that the rest of your system can like put that back pressure in place, and then you can handle it in different ways. Exceptions still occur. You're never going to cater for every single thing, but have an elegant way to basically look at those exceptions, be able to configure capacity on the fly, do your logging, do your monitoring. A lot of kind of basic things at a very low level you have to do right to be able to handle that 10 trillion a day. Okay, so I mentioned these exceptions are going to happen anyway. They always do. So what we look to do in all of our systems through all of this complex things, I think up in the slide earlier, there was 160 different currencies, countries, all of that. There's so much kind of like complexity in all of that. So we've got quite a lot of different systems that talk to each other. And when you get system A talking to system B, you've got to be able to like self-heal at scale, because the volume that's going through these systems, it's incredible. Again, it's scary, but it's incredible. It's a great problem to solve for. So what we build into our systems is the ability to heal and kind of self-recover. So from the self-healing point of view, on the producer side, it's a kind of, we've got the usual kind of producer retry. We all love producer retries. We all love producer retries. Woo! So that's the kind of self-healing. So it's a simple retry on error and operate in producer operations. Fail fast. Like some things a network has a blip. Sometimes a system has a slight like blip of a downtime. That 0.001% that's allowed to be down for. Retry. Like don't wait for someone to come and try and process their payment again. Retry it. On the consumer, again, similar. We've got that retry where it allows us to basically set number of retries before we go and park it into, say, a dead letter queue or somewhere that an actual operator needs to kind of go and deal with. So again, as we're expecting failure, we've got some recovery in place. So we've got the standard handling and parking of those failed messages. Sometimes the information we get through is not right. We've done all our validation, that's great, but it still passes through those validation steps, and we need to do a slight bit of correction on that message. That does happen, but we want to keep that number really low, because for the volume that we are working at, if you dealt with every kind of message that went into a dead letter queue manually, it just would not work. It would not work at scale. So we do have the ability to replay some of those messages on an ops UI. We simply expect failure and handle it. At that point there, I'll hand over to Maria to talk about some of the open source stuff we're doing, okay?
Cool. So what are we doing? The big one is we're trying to change our image. We're here. We've been here for the last, I think, Alan, 3 years, myself, 2 years. It takes a lot for us to come here. We have to go through legal, security, branding, all of that stuff. Just to get an image of ourselves on our own PowerPoint, we have to go through legal and say, yes, we're happy with this. But why are we here then? We're here, number one, I get a free trip to America. That's great crack. Number two, we love FinTech DevCon. We love the feedback you all give. We love just all the talks, everything to do with that. So for the last few years, you've given us some great feedback. You've said the APIs weren't public. We had no trial environments, and there was no example code. This was all completely true. Previously, if you wanted to see our APIs, you had to be a current client. This was awful, and becoming a client was obviously a lot of work, etc. So not to sound product pitchy, but we now have a developer portal. Publicly available, you can go in, see our APIs, you can even hit the APIs using our trial environment, and it's hopefully a big step up. The other bit, the absence of example code. This is where Alan and I come in. Both of us developers, we like to see code. So, first thing we did was we created the JP Morgan Payments GitHub organization. This took a lot of legal and compliance to get there, but we really thought it was important for developers to be able to see code. I don't know about people here. For me, the documentation's boring. Just give me the code, let me write it, go. So some of the stuff we've put there, something called Unicorn Finance. I have no idea how I'm working in JP Morgan and have an app called Unicorn Finance. The logo is a unicorn with the tie. We call it Business Unicorn. We love Business Unicorn. But the whole point of Unicorn Finance is to showcase our APIs. So we wanted to show you how you could use our APIs to make an application. So we have Unicorn Finance. It's also themed pink. Again, no idea how we're getting away with this. The idea is you can see different ways of using our APIs. You also are able to toggle it on and see this graphic was created using the Balances API, etc. You can hit it in different environments, so we have it set up for like the sandbox, the cat environments, obviously not prod, but, and the code, publicly available. All of it's there for you to see, for you to look at, critique, as much as you want. Additionally, we thought Unicorn Finance is great, but some of the feedback we got was sometimes the hardest bit of hitting an API is actually just authenticating to it. Once you get in, it's just get, post requests. So what we did was we came up with one repository that is just super simple examples of how to authenticate. We have it in Go, Java, JavaScript, Python, and also Postman collections. The idea is you can use OAuth, SSL, just use that and immediately get access and have a play about. Yeah, that's everything in that bit. So then, lastly, the collaborations. We're working with external companies to try and collaborate and come up with new ideas, enhance our offerings. There's more on there, that, but legal only allowed us to put Twilio and Docker on the screen. Twilio, we're looking at personalization and notifications. Docker, this is the one Alan and I have been looking at more recently. It's all changing our showcases to show you the Docker files, how you can build, how you can deploy with that. Alan got to go to MS Build and describe all that. If anybody played our booth game, that was all used through Docker. I know Docker isn't actually that new, but it's JP Morgan. It's new to us. There you go. But yeah, so we're really trying to make working with JP Morgan a bit more fun. Alan and I's core role at the minute is basically to pretend to be external developers. So we log off JP Morgan systems, and then we basically go and test the documentation and try to break things, and it's great, so much fun. But yeah, that's everything from me. As I say, go check out our JP Morgan Payments GitHub, raise PRs. I'm sure there's people here who think my code is awful and yours is better. Go for it. We love the criticism. And yeah, over to Alan.
Thanks, Maria. Yeah, and like one thing that stuck with me when Wade was talking the other night at the speakers dinner was like pushing the boundaries of what we do here. Hopefully you can see like what we're doing today and what we're trying to share with this entire audience here is like we're all pushing the boundaries from different angles. Like there's so many amazing like fintechs out there solving real kind of client, real world problems for niche markets, and they're scaling so massively. What like me and Maria are personally trying to do is like build those bridges into the fintech community sort of thing, because we love working with y'all. It's, as I said, like that conversation on MTLS the other night, loved it. So what I'm going to talk about now is the playbook to excite and engage a large multinational, not the ChatGPT version, just my own version. If anyone wants to see a good talk about like properly working with a large bank like JP Morgan, speak to Michael Cullum from Bud. He gave a fantastic talk on day one about the due diligence approach and what we kind of look for when we look to fully bring a fintech inside, whether it be partnership, whether it be acquisition, whether it be whatever. He had a great way of presenting it from a fintech's perspective, so check out his talk. And again, so this playbook is from a builder's perspective within a bank, nothing else. There we go. So these are the kind of 5 fun categories that I like to look for. So when I'm looking at a fintech and looking at something exciting in that world. So I'm looking at the problem, I'm looking at documentation APIs, open source, community engagement, and innovative technology. Some of the things that we're trying to do better as a bank is what everyone in this room excels at already. And this is just some examples of what I want to walk through. So the problem, so we're interested in a specific problem you're addressing, like how does your solution make a difference in the financial landscape? How can we as a bank either leverage you or you leverage us so that we can have that relationship together, and we can basically build that trust, and we can see how you can go that extra mile for our clients. We've got some huge like clients that we bank for and everything, but some of your solutions would really make a difference to their world, to our world, in a kind of great joined up way. And I was just going to say, we don't want to solve every problem. Like, if you've solved it and you've solved it really well, like, why should we solve it? I'm a developer, like, I don't want to write every line of code. So documentation APIs, Maria mentioned our portal that we're trying to get better at. Again, clear, comprehensive documentation, robust APIs are crucial. It makes it so much simpler to integrate with fintechs when we see that. These are what our, as a bank, we are striving for. Open source contributions, who loves open source? Oh yeah, that's probably the biggest hands up of this entire talk. Woo! And this is on day 3. So again, so code on open source is brilliant. It's not essential, but it is brilliant. To me, it shows that transparency and it fosters that trust through actual code. Like, I don't always have that same level of trust if I see a Word document or a PDF or even Microsoft PowerPoint, for example. I get trust through code and seeing that working, checking it out locally, playing about with it. We're all problem solvers, we're all builders, we want to do that. Michael also talked quite a lot about building that trust with banks, and that's what we're looking to try and bridge together here. Community engagement. Who has not had a selfie with me? Oh, one, two, 3, right. So by the end of this talk, I promise you'll all be part of a selfie if you choose to do so. Again, active participation in fintech communities demonstrates that commitment. We look for fintechs here. We've partnered up with so many fintechs through these types of conferences, through these types of community engagement. And the work that kind of Wade and Moov and Jared and everyone are doing here, it's incredible. Like this, you can hopefully hear a bit of the Scottish passion come through here. The fact that this is why I love to kind of work with y'all at these kind of conferences. It's good fun. I get to see the problems that you're solving, how you're solving them, and then how that can work together for all the different kind of clients that we look to serve. Because we all, we merge across into lots of different clients. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love cutting edge technology? Well, maybe parts of JP Morgan like to kind of stick in COBOL and Java and Java 4 or whatever. But yeah, we're trying to push those boundaries and get up to kind of more modern technology and really look for those innovations that stand out in the marketplace. And again, everyone here is pushing the boundaries for their clients. It's incredible. Okay, who's ready to play a game? Who's ready to play a game? Yes, okay. So we're going to do a little game based on that playbook called Guess the Cool Fintech, right? So I'm going to put up some details about a fintech and you've got to try and help me guess who that is. Sound like fun? Woohoo! Yes, that's it. So you might need to squint, but I'll read out some of this and you can try and understand my Scottish accent when I'm saying it. So the fintech one, a very mysterious one. So they are looking to eliminate the labyrinth of payments providers. We built the first all-in-one payments platform, making it easy to accept, store, send, and spend money. If you jump to the community engagement part, Secret Conference is exclusively designed to educate and empower fintech builders. Okay, are we getting the hint here? They've got 53 open source repos, and at the core of fintech, Secret Company creates open source infrastructure for financial technology. Who wants to hazard, or do we all want to hazard the same guess at the same time as to which company, which cool fintech this is? Woo! So there's a kind of theme of the companies that I picked here. But yes, it's Moov. Yeah, they're incredible. I love Wade and all he's doing just now. It's really good. And who doesn't love another Highland coup? Eddie, you were here last. Yeah. We've seen it from last year. I love Highland coups, sorry, and unicorns. Fintech 2, now this is getting harder, okay? We went for the person who's organising the entire thing here to something else. So the problem this fintech is solving, protect every customer interaction from financial crime. Banks, retailers, and fintechs use Secret Company to detect fraud patterns, prevent money laundering, and stop sophisticated scams. Docs, oh yeah. Innovative technology, oh yeah. Open source contributions, they've got 45 repos, amazing. And community engagement, they may be here. I may have spoken in selfies with them yesterday. So do we want to try and guess what cool fintech this is? Does anybody want to hazard a guess? Woohoo! Sardine, yes. That is not soups, okay? I'm going to call that out. That is not soups. I love Sardine. They're really pushing the boundaries on a lot of the fraud and AML space. Okay, so Fintech 3. I went for the same theme because I've managed to come up with a cool AI-generated image for them. So this cool fintech want to make the decentralized financial world accessible for everyone. Documentation APIs, oh yeah. Open source contributions, they've got 148 repos out there. That's incredible. They're building open source toolkits that implement open standards and protocols to open up financial access globally. And they've got SDKs out there as well. So as part of their community engagement, what they do is they shout out to their superstar contributors every single month. And again, that just speaks so well to me. Innovative technology, yes. They're looking to push the boundary on financial inclusion through technology. It's an incredible, incredible company. Now, can anyone guess this really hard one? TBD. Woo! TBD! Oh yeah. And the question is, why a B? Okay, so if you go onto their website, it's yellow and black. Yeah. And they're focused on decentralized finance, so think like lots of B's going everywhere, but also TBD. Yeah? That's right. Yay! Go dad jokes. Yeah. Okay, so I mentioned at the start, like we're trying to build those bridges. We've hopefully shown you a lot of the stuff that we're doing internally, externally, and what we kind of look to excite ourselves with. So we're builders, aren't we? Well, Maria's a proper builder and she keeps me right, so that's all good. So what did Alan and Maria build? So we've had lots of fun, and we are builders too, so what did we actually build? A selfie wall? No, okay, not a selfie wall, okay. I could probably easily create a selfie wall, I wish. And by the way, how cute is that puppy? Can't be, sorry, I might just be coming across as a vet that's kind of like landed in technology and finance. So only kidding. We didn't build a selfie wall, although that would be pretty epic. What did we build? No, so not a spaceship, okay? We're going down the same theme here, but that would be epic. Imagine building a spaceship and having a unicorn, because like, who doesn't love spaceships? Who loves spaceships? Who loves unicorns? Woo! But seriously, what did we build? So we wanted to play a game. We've seen some of the cool, like Super Smash Brothers and all these other games that are at this conference. We built like a game and we got it through compliance. Oh, that was fun. But again, we're trying to push that boundary in different ways to try and see how we can engage better with y'all. And who doesn't love playing games? I mean, it's so much fun. It's a simple game where you basically get to pretend to be a client who wants to basically accept, manage and send money globally. You've got lots of like Lego themed things on there, if I'm allowed to say that, probably not. And the whole idea is to enable these APIs globally on this lovely kind of block map to try and earn revenue for your fintech. Has anyone played the game at the booth? Have we got the high score in the room? Alison? I think some of our own booth members might be trying to game the system here. So the thing is, it's super simple. It's try to be a bit more creative and say, like, okay, we can start to expose what we do in a different way. We are a big, giant, regulated bank that has to kind of deal with $10,000 a day, but we want to engage with you. We want to listen and learn. You've seen what Maria mentioned earlier on about public APIs, all of that. That's what we're here to do. And yeah, blocks, we love it. So hopefully we've shared some of the real problems we've solved within the bank. We shared what we built externally. Hopefully you can all check out our GitHub repo. We shared our simple playbook that is out there as well, and you can go and get these slides. Come see us at the booth. Have you had some fun during this talk? Have you had some fun during this talk? Woo! So, as you can see, I go for audience participation. But before you go, you know what I'm going to ask for? Oh yeah! So who's up for a kind of Oscars-themed selfie, and we can all, don't know, gather around there and we can just do a big mad selfie? Yes, do it.